Within this video, I'm going to be going through all different leaks for Modern Warfare's multiplayer, from Killstreaks to game modes to weapons and attachments to maps and everything in between here. Huge portions of this multiplayer has been leaked for this upcoming game. We're going to be going through all of this leaked information, what all of this means, and how interesting a lot of this is, because there's a lot of really cool stuff that you guys are going to be very happy about, returning and being added to this game coming October 25th. So let's get straight into it here. I'm going to leave a link down below to the Gaming Revolution. This is from his source, a very credible source. I can't stress this enough. A bunch of this stuff, if not all of this stuff, will definitely be within the game. This is leaked information, so things may slightly change, but for the most part, all of this insane information here will actually be within the game, so it's very cool to see. So let's start off here. I'm going to section this into different topics here, different parts of the multiplayer, because there's a lot of stuff to get through. Let's start off with the kill streaks for this game. The White Phosphorus is a straight line rolling thunder kill streak that drops 5 burning chemical canisters and has this Molotov impact on the ground. So pretty much the canisters drop, a huge radius of explosion is going to be seen on the map in which you drop it. So if you're in that direct impact, you will die immediately, and if you're in sort of the smoke, you will actually lose a ton of health, and your health will go very low just before you're about to die, probably 5 or 10 health, and that obviously is going to be a kill streak that you're going to need a lot of kills for. We're not exactly so sure yet, but it is said to be a very top tier kill streak, one of the highest kill streaks you can receive within this game. Other kill streaks that will be returning: the Chopper Gunner, the Juggernaut obviously is returning, and the Nuke is going to be returning in some sort of form as well. So it's not exactly going to be the game-ending nuke we saw in MW2, but going to be something similar to that, where you're getting 25 or maybe 30 kills, and you're going to get this huge bomb, and it's probably going to kill everyone on the map. And we don't know exactly what type of bomb it's going to be, what it's going to look like, but it's going to be that same sort of theme that we've seen in other Modern Warfare and Infinity Ward games. Other kill streaks here: the AC-130 is also returning, but the Juggernaut is actually higher than the AC-130, so the Juggernaut might actually be a really intense kill streak. Maybe they beefed it up for this game and they're putting a huge emphasis on it, so we'll see exactly how that works. But the cool thing here is, again, that the AC-130 is returning. Fan favorite from MW2, pretty fun kill streak to use, so that's very sick as well. And here's a bunch of interesting stuff with the UAV system in this game. So we talked about no minimaps in the game. That's pretty much still a thing. We're not going to be having a minimap if you don't have a UAV, but there are actually 3 different types of UAVs here. So we have a personal UAV, which only pings enemies around you, okay? Now we have a regular UAV, slightly more, kills or score that you're going to need for this one. This is the normal UAV, the whole map, and you guys know how that works. And then the advanced UAV with obviously the directionals of the actual characters on the minimap, and those again will be a lot more accessible. So I'm guessing the personal UAVs, you're really probably only going to need 2 kills, at least maybe 3 kills max to get this. It's going to be widely accessible, and a ton of people are going to be able to get it. So the minimap isn't going to be in the game, but a lot of people will be getting these personal UAVs. That is, if you equip this, and if you don't, then you won't be getting that. So it's a trade-off to everything, obviously. Now let's look at a bunch of different stuff for game modes in this game. So we have TDM, Domination, Search and Destroy, and we have a new game mode called Cyber Attack, where you're actually reviving teammates, similar to SND. So seems like some sort of take on Search and Rescue to some extent, so we'll see how that works. And there's also going to be a gunfight mode, which is pretty much face-off from the sound of it, but with a slight adjustment. So you're having 1v1 or 2v2 small maps with different matches, but the players are actually getting random loadouts, and it switches every 2 rounds, first to 6 wins. And this is apparently what the NFL players actually played, which does make sense, because a lot of the NFL players, those pictures that were taken of them, there were only a couple at each station, and it did look like 2v2 stations when those NFL players played Modern Warfare. So they're probably playing that game mode, and that does make sense. So it's a version of Face-Off. A bunch of people wanted Face-Off to return, so I'm definitely excited to see that return within the game with those really specific small maps for those tight engagements, and those 1v1, 2v2 matches are always very fun. Another game mode here, Headquarters. I think it's a slightly different take on Headquarters. The leak was saying King of the Hill, teams capture set points. It's pretty much how Headquarters used to work back in the old Call of Duties. We haven't seen Headquarters in a while, maybe a slight adjustment, but Headquarters, you go to the point, you try to get the point, you get more, sort of score prefers staying near the headquarters and capturing it. You guys pretty much know how headquarters worked if you played, especially in MW3 and stuff like that. So that will be returning as well. So here's some other stuff, some miscellaneous information for multiplayer. I couldn't really put this in a category, but for one, we're probably not going to be seeing a theater mode. Now, this was a part of the leak, and the leaker isn't exactly sure if there's going to be no theater mode, but he says that there's no evidence of it right now, so looks like we're not going to be seeing that. Also, some stuff about the movement for this game. So there's going to be a super sprint within the game, and you're going to click sprint twice. So when you're sprinting, you click the thumb pad twice, and then you're going to speed up for a couple of seconds. But obviously, when you're speeding up, it's going to be a lot more difficult to actually, get back to your weapon to shoot, and the aim down sight time after super sprinting is going to be very long, but there will be a perk to actually, sort of combat that, and you're pretty much getting these different perks, and we'll talk about this later on in a second about the created class system and how you're getting specific perks for your different weapons and different classes, perks that have new abilities. So a new perk here would obviously be to make it so when you're super sprinting even faster, and then you're also obviously, sort of being able to aim your weapon a lot faster than you would have without that perk. So that's very interesting there. So let's go through some of the equipment. We have the smoke grenade, concussion flash, trophy. The trophy is actually going to be different. It's going to be a part of a rechargeable skill for the class. Each class will have these different skills. Like I mentioned, that's pretty much what that is, those different skills. We have lethals, C4, frag, Semtex, a pressure sensitive mine. Now let's talk about the guns here. The guns are very important for this game. So obviously they are mostly code names for these weapons. It's in the state where we don't exactly have the main names and titles for the weapons. So I'm not going to be going through any of the actual names of these weapons here, but we have obviously ARs, SMGs, shotguns, no machine pistols. You're going to be able to customize your attachments, your barrel, your rear end, your barrel attachments, optics, special ability for the guns, and overall attachments are going to be a huge part. You're having 5 different attachments, and when you actually add an attachment, it's really going to make a difference to the weapon. They're making it so attachments are really something you have to focus on to actually make your weapon different and unique and sort of viable within certain gun engagements and map engagements for this game. Also, the weapons are going to have 2 different firing modes. At least a lot of weapons are. So several, I'm guessing probably ARs for the most part, will have a single shot and, a semi-fire loadout or, fully auto. There's going to be a lot of different things here that we're going to be seeing. So that's definitely going to be very cool to see in the game. Also, traditional creative class. We talked about this before. I'll go through this quickly. No pick 10. I've mentioned this. We pretty much know at this point. Category 1, 2, and 3 perk slots. 6 perks for each. The third category will have 4 perks. That's general within most Call of Duties and Modern Warfare's, at least 30 plus weapons within the game. Some weapons right now might be DLC weapons, and that sucks because obviously we want all of the weapons at launch, but the DLC is going to be free this time around, so it shouldn't be that big of a deal. And most weapons are made for the game, and there's always a few weapons that they make that they just save for DLC anyway, so I'm not too worried about that, honestly. We have a little information on what types of maps we're going to be seeing within this game, so we actually might have some variety to the maps here. A lot less just 3-lane maps, different size maps, small, medium, and large maps, all different types of maps for different game modes. Obviously, we have those sort of face-off maps that we're seeing, those 1v1, 2v2 maps returning, but think about ghosts. I think what's going to happen here, according to the leak, there's going to be variety. With most Call of Duties, especially Black Ops 3, Black Ops 4, it's just all 3-lane maps, and people are getting sick and tired of just 3-lane maps over and over again. So Modern Warfare supposedly is going to have some 3-lane maps, but also some large, weird, intricate maps. COD Ghosts, obviously, those maps were too big, too weird, but they were very interesting. They made for fun games. So COD Ghosts, the only problem was there was just too many of those weird looking maps. But if you have a couple of them within the game that are just large and there's so many different corners you can go around, those are obviously very fun. So we're going to see a lot of those within the game on top of also 3-lane maps, small, medium, large. It should be a good mix. So some other stuff within the game here, you're going to be able to lean on any object within this game. We talked about the leaning feature before, but again, leaning may be a huge part. We'll see how many people actually use it when the game drops. Supply drops so far, not exactly implemented yet. They're going to be implemented into the game in some way, shape, or form, but we're not so exactly sure what the system is going to be. They're still working on that. Gonna see a battle pass as well to some extent. Hopefully it's better than Black Ops 4, but again, no word on that as of yet. 6v6 for the most part for the multiplayer, 10v10 for ground war game modes. We have no info on the camos. We are gonna have a knife as a secondary, no info on melee, how that's gonna work, if we're gonna have the one-hit lunge, so that, you know, Commando Pro, we have no clue if we're gonna see that. I mean, it is Modern Warfare, so you never know. Definitely is possible to have that one-hit knife within the game, but as of now, we're not so sure. Spec Ops, very interesting, is actually unfinished. I want to do a video specifically on Spec Ops because apparently, you know, there's a lot of work they still need to do on Spec Ops, and I'm a bit worried as to what they're doing with that, and we'll talk about that later on. But also, the operators in multiplayer will actually, you know, have some sort of special abilities within the Spec Ops mission, so the operators won't actually grant you abilities over players in multiplayer. Those are just cosmetic changes, but operators in Spec Ops will actually give you specific abilities that you will have that will be unique to your character. So that's gonna be very interesting to see how that works. So maybe, you know, Spec Ops sort of pay to win because, you know, you're pre-ordering the sort of the $100 or $80 version to get those 3 operators, and they're gonna have abilities in Spec Ops that other people won't get. So we'll see what happens there, but it's definitely very interesting to see what they're doing with that. So that's pretty much most of the information here for Modern Warfare multiplayer. We covered a lot of stuff. Definitely leave a comment below if you have any questions, and there's still so much more we need to learn regarding this multiplayer, and it's definitely going to be very exciting to actually see a gameplay reveal, to actually see all this stuff in action. So that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys did enjoy, I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.